Hi, everyone. Diana Rankin here. Good to see you, along with little Piper back there who's cleaning her paw. It got dirty. Our question from a viewer this week is about spiritual practices or religion. And sorry, I'm sitting on my hair and it gets in the way when I sit on it. It catches on the back of my chair. Anyway, welcome. So glad to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your comments. If you have a question that of a general nature that will be of interest to all of the people in our audience, please put it in the comments below or email it to me. And if you have a personal question, just get a hold of me and we'll set up a session. My prices and all that are on my website, so just go there and check it out. We will also get a message. You may have to remind me, help me out here, but we'll also get a message from one of my books, The Master's Book of Answers, which is just an oracle book. We just open to any page and get our message for the week. So I usually have people coming on live, and today it looks like we may have some coming a little bit late. So we're going to go ahead and start. This is the question. Do you need to follow one specific spiritual practice or a specific religion to become enlightened? And Phillip, my spirit guide, answers this way. The answer is both no and yes. We shall explain. Oh, that's good, Phillip. That's good. Thank you. Phillip goes on to say, whether for the individual the answer is no or yes depends upon how many lifetimes the individual has lived and the experiences they have had in each lifetime. Newer souls, for example, may want to experience several different spiritual practices and religions before settling on one specific practice for a lifetime or two. To experience multiple practices may take several lifetimes. They will then discover which practice speaks to them most profoundly before choosing one practice. Once chosen, the person may stay immersed in this practice for several lifetimes before moving on in the next lifetime to another practice in which they will immerse themselves. This will continue until the person has a deep comprehension of the practices that are available on Earth during their time in the third dimensional world. Once satisfied with lifetimes of study and the practice of the different spiritual beliefs and religions, the individual will then no longer have a need for any specific practice. These individuals tend to be deeply immersed in their practices that they have learned from lifetimes of study. They tend to be quite loving and kind individuals who have created their own specific spiritual practices that often borrow from a variety of belief systems. These are the masters in training. Now, Phillip has more to say, but I just want to recap what he said. He said that new souls may try out all kinds of different practices, spiritual practices and religions. Those, and then they find something that they want to go deeper with in other lifetimes. And then those who are masters in training, the older souls, do the same thing as the newer souls, other than in the sense that they're practicing so-called multiple or creating their own. But they're ready for that because they've studied all the others. And I'm seeing a lot of that in my lifetime right now, where many, many people I know, and certainly many who have studied with me, and I think I've told you sometimes my master's degree is in how the sacred, or my thesis is how the sacred is expressed across cultures and throughout history. And so those of us who don't want to be with one practice, but really want to be with a multitude and create our own, so to speak, that's because we have in depth in other lifetimes studied just one in depth. And so we already have that in-depth study of each of the religions and spiritual practices, which is why we're like the new souls, only we have the depth of the understanding. So we can try out many in this lifetime. And we don't have to go as far in depth this lifetime because we have a deeper understanding because we've already done that. Phillip goes on to say, these are the masters in training. Once lifetimes of this phase have been lived, the individual may choose to return as a teacher to help others. If so, there are those few who return to Earth as masters who create a movement that may turn into a practice others will follow. We are speaking of those such as Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad. These masters teach love. As others try to teach the master's practices, they fall short because they have not had the lifetimes and experiences the masters have had. This is not to say others should stop teaching the master's words. It is to say at all levels, whether an old soul or a new soul, or the soul in between, it must be up to each individual to decide what practice helps them to live their best life. If the practice helps them to be loving to themselves and others, this is the practice they must consider is right for them. If the practice brings them fear and causes pain, this is not a good practice. The purpose for any practice, any belief, whether considered spiritual or religious, is to help the person be love with the capital L. This includes loving oneself and others. It includes kindness, compassion, and generosity. It also means one must be discerning, but not judgmental. If the practice adds love to your life and to the world, it is a practice you are to continue. If it adds peace to your heart, it is the practice for you at this time in this lifetime. To find that which is right for you may take many hours and many experiences. Patience may be needed. The only wrong practices are those that bring harm, and yet even these have purpose, for they help those who are ready to know greater love. To find that which, I'm going to repeat that last paragraph. To find that which is right for you may take many hours and many experiences. Patience may be needed. The only wrong practices are those that bring harm, and yet even these have purpose, for they help those who are ready to know greater love. Hello, Juliet. She says, hello and happy rainy Friday. Yes, you know, where I am here in Ohio, in rural Ohio, we've had such a spring. We've had tornadoes. We've had so much rain that now everything is just flooded. So it's not the only place having uncomfortable weather. And we just get through it, don't we? I just want to remind you, for those of you who are interested, I do have a blog on my website filled with articles of Phillip's wisdom and others. Also have a newsletter, which is free, which you can just go to my website and sign up for. And that comes out every Friday morning. And Juliet sent me an email earlier telling me I do have an error in this week's email. Let's see if you can find it and let me know. But do sign up for the newsletter and please go read the blog. If you wish. If I'm a reader, so I like print stuff, not just, I like TV and YouTubes, but I'm a print reader too. So I have all of that for you. My goal here is to help change the world to a world of more love. I'm 78, so I see my own personal world has a lot of love in it, and I'm so grateful for that. And that's what I want for everyone, for the bigger world. Let's get our message for this week, shall we? Well, there we go. I'm hearing right. If you heard right, that's a message for all of us and our intuitions in sync. If you heard left, that's a message you need to pay attention to. So on the right, it's page 321, and this is for all of us. Do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. Do not get so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. That can happen, can't it? So easily. And on, if you heard left, here's your message. Tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thoughts create today? So if you heard left, your message is tomorrow is merely an extension of today. Is it not then wise to guard that which your thought creates today? But for all of us, it's page right, which is 321. Do not be so busy seeking life that you forget to be life. Whatever your spiritual practice or religion is, as Phillip said, let it be of love. Let it help your life be better, and let it help the lives of all be better. Next week, we're going to talk more about healing and what that really means and how we heal our hearts. So we're going to look at that next week. So I want to thank you, Juliet, for coming live. For those of you who can, I really appreciate it. If you have questions, just put them in the comments below and we'll get to answering them. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for the love that you send to us. Thank you for the love that you receive to us. And thank you for the love you send out into the world. See you next week. Add love to your life, my friends.